Welcome to Japet Community Life Magazine, and of course, All Nations TV. We're here today with a person who has started a festival, and of course, I got to admit we're a little late in finding out, but I was glad to see that they gave us an opportunity to come in on the rear since the festival, of course, is next week. We're going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to actually find out some more information. I'll get to you in a minute. Why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. My name is Michael Marinaccio. I am the festival producer of Orlando Fringe, or the Orlando International Fringe Theater Festival.
Okay. Now, as you know, that a lot of people would like to know, including my partner, Milton Wallace, why would you call it Fringe?
So the Fringe Festival started in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1947, and there was an international theater festival that was very exclusive. You know, there was the only selected certain type of content. There was a lot of nepotism involved, and so there were a lot of producers that wanted to be a part of it. But they weren't allowed, so they decided to start their own festival on the outskirts, or the fringe of the Edinburgh International Festival. The only rule that they had was, if you can find a venue, you can be a part of the festival. So it was this open access idea that happened on the fringe of another festival, and so the press started calling it the Fringe. And then that led to that Fringe Festival swallowing up the International Festival. And today, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the largest arts festival, period, in the world. Wow.
Okay, so from what I'm trying to make sure I got the gentleman quote this morning where I met Brian. He said y'all been doing it for 20-some years?
So this is our 28th annual festival, which makes Orlando Fringe the longest running Fringe festival in the United States, which is exciting because Orlando isn't really the oldest anything in the United States.
Okay, so out of all those, it's a lot of years for you to have this going on. Tell me a little bit about what's going to be here this week coming up, and for 2 weeks. That's what I really want to get an insight. So let's just dig right into it.
Of course.
Tell me a little bit more about what the insight is.
So what the Fringe Festival really is here in Orlando is it is a multi-genre, independent performing arts festival. We have 140 different ticketed shows. That's over 1,000 performances throughout the year. We have free performances on our outdoor stage. Our kids' Fringe on the weekends is completely free. And so we do events for 2 weeks long. It is a celebration of the performing arts. And we are an international festival, so we have acts from all over the country, all across the world, every genre: comedy, musicals, dance, puppetry, poetry, you name it, hip hop, you name it, we have it at the Orlando Fringe.
Now let me ask you this, now that we're getting some of what I'm after, and you have all of these different artists coming in, let me ask you this, the different nights that you have coming up, kids nights from what I understand is going to be on the weekend, so make sure you get your kids here. And then the other thing, during the week, I understand how you guys, it was explained to me earlier, how you guys choose. And then of course, why don't you tell me if somebody want to be a part of this thing, and what do they exactly have to do? And then of course, as we grow, we're going to turn around and try to film more of the event to bring to you on All Nations and Japet Community Life Magazine. But let's get back. What do they need to do to become a part of it?
The Orlando Fringe is a community event. So we have reserved 50% of our slots for local Central Florida-based artists and shows. Anyone can apply and anyone can get in. So you have from September to November, we have applications on our festival website, and then we have a lottery. So whether it's a polished professional piece that has toured the world and won awards everywhere, or it's an amateur, first-time artist, somebody who just decided that they want to do it, a high school, a church group, it doesn't matter. Those folks have the same chance of getting in. So it does create a system where there is no favoritism shown in terms of it, and it is up to the artist to create the work that they want to present.
Okay, so each person can able to present their talent, and you have approximately one major show. This is the biggest one during the year, correct?
Yeah, this is our big event. We do have a smaller festival. It's called the Orlando Fringe Winter Mini Fest, and that happens in January. We do some other year-round events. We do our Fab Fringe is our big fundraiser, so we do a big show for that. We have some other smaller shows that we do throughout the year, but this is the main event. It's 2 weeks long. Last year we had over 72,000 people come to the events, and it is and gave back almost $500,000 to artists. So
that is unbelievable. That is.
We give 100% of the ticket proceeds back to the artist. That's the other thing that's really
one of the five.
Yeah, exciting for us as a nonprofit organization that we're able to give 100% of the ticket sale back to the artist.
I think that is awesome. Now, as the artists perform, let's do this, because there may be some people out there that don't understand whether or not they can get their artwork here, or they, whether or not it's reputable, or how it is. It can be many films that they've done. I suspect also artwork for their performances, singing, whatever have you. So there's no line on what you can do to come, correct?
Yeah, so we do have a very specific rating system, all ages, 7 and up, 13 and up, or 18 and up, that we really hold the artist to try to sticking by, but we allow the artist to control all of their content. So it really does run the gamut. We have shows that are geared towards children, we have high school shows, we have church groups, we have all of these things that'll happen mostly during the days on the weekends or the earlier hours of the evening, and then as you get later, the content gets more adults. There are some, so because we really try to be a broad swath of the community and open to everybody.
Now let's do this. Before we go any further, why don't you give them one, of course, the website.
Sure.
Can you give them that?
Sure. The website is orlandofringe.org, and that's orlandofringe.org, and you can find everything you need there. We also have an app, a phone app on iTunes and Android. We've got an amazing website called fringeomatic.com that helps people to enter their perfect schedule and create their perfect schedule. So we've really started to take technology and social media and internet marketing really seriously in today's age, because that's how you can reach the most people.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Let's get where I normally at. Everybody know JAPEC is about knowledge. Tell me, you've been doing this for a while. What made you want to take on such a venture and stay with it this long?
So I was an artist at the Orlando Fringe. I started back in 1997. I was in college at UCF as a theater major, doing shows there. And some friends and I just decided we wanted to do our own thing. So we created a show. It was about 45 minutes long. It was kind of like a 20-something sitcom episode on stage. And we just had an amazing time. And when I got there and saw the other shows that were happening, saw the innovative, exciting performing arts that was able to happen at the festival, I got hooked. And so for the next 15 years, I did 17 shows as a producer, a writer, an actor, a director. And when my predecessor retired from the job as festival producer, I applied, and they selected me. So it's been my dream job. I love supporting independent artists. I love being a part of something that I think helps to grow and enhance our community, being part of something that brings the community together. That's the really exciting part for me, and it's been a very soul-filling journey for me.
And that's the thing, when you get something from your heart, something that you always wanted to do, you can enjoy it while you're doing it. Now, you've been in this for a while, and as always, we get on every single subject. What has there been any rough times where you say, woo, good gracious, or has it always been just peaches and cream and ice cream and everything else?
No, there are always curveballs. There are always rough times.
Because after looking at the book that I saw this morning, I must say, you guys, good gracious, I was so impressed with so many things going on at one time. I'm curious, I might have to just follow you guys around and see how you're going to handle all of this, because there's so much going on. I mean, it's a show after a show after a show after event, and it doesn't look like there's no break in it.
No.
And it's definitely, we normally do parades, but this is just outrageous. And of course, we're going to try to bring as much to you as can. But I don't know how you're going, I mean, that's...
Well, yeah, no, we've had some big challenges throughout the years. The festival itself had suffered through a fire that destroyed all of the records and everything in the office, near bankruptcy. But during my tenure here, we've had some torrential rain years where a big part of our festival is the outdoor element. We have live local music on the outdoor stage every night, and we have, you know, a jazz night and a Latin night and a hip hop night and a poetry night and a comedy night. But when it rains all 2 weeks long, that kind of takes its toll on us. So we've dealt with that. We've had we've had injuries, we've had thefts, we've had the lots and lots of drama. Always, I try to tell the artists, keep the drama on stage, but there's always some backstage too. So.
That's just dealing with people,
Yeah, we try to anticipate every issue that might come up and make sure that we are prepared, but there's always curveballs.
Now, the reason why I asked you that question, because as always, we want to inspire others. A lot of people think that when they get in show business, it's straight to the top. Let's call it what it is. They believe that all of a sudden they make a CD or they make an album and they made $30 million or $100 million. It doesn't. You got to crawl.
Of course.
And I've been doing this long enough now, at a short time, that I've experienced. You gotta crawl, and you're constantly every day going after your dream. So that's why I asked you that question, not to try to make you feel like, ooh, he done, he got to bring out some bad points. It's not what I'm after. We got to inspire people to reality. And that's one of the main things. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and I said, we need to come up with a course to teach common sense. And of course, he's a professor. Right. He didn't even know where to start at. You know what I mean? I told him, how do we teach this thing?
Sure.
Because half of the time, most people don't have it. I'm looking for a play or something that we can say, we're going to do in the I told him, well, I'll do it in the magazine, a course. Common sense. Because a lot of times, even if they get the money, they blow it. There's no common sense course out here. So that's why I asked you that, because a lot of people got one mind. I made a CD, I've been on acting, slip.
Sure. The entertainment industry is notorious for that. I mean, the entertainment industry is one of the hardest industries to break into and make a living in. And it's also one that attracts dreamers. And we love dreamers, and we want people that are innovative and ambitious and excited about their work and trying new things. But when I teach, I coach young people a lot.
Okay.
And
you do common sense too?
Well, yeah. And what I tell them is, if you may love the theater, you may love the performing arts, but if you can think of one other thing that you would enjoy doing for the rest of your life, go do that. Because this career is not something to be taken lightly. The people that do it don't really feel like they have a choice. They have to do this. They feel like they need to be on stage or creating art
in front of the camera or doing something.
And that passion and that drive and that feeling like they don't have a choice in it, that makes them formidable and be able to. But they still are. There's still no clear path. And what I love about the Orlando Fringe is we are able to give people a little experience in the entrepreneurial side of it, creating and producing their own work, trying to sell their own work. So if you, at home, if you want to be an artist, this will give you a much more well-rounded background in it, because you're able to find out what it takes to produce work, How do you market your own thing?
And
how
see
do you
your
sell it?
product.
And see what the results are. Because
So you see what works.
Yeah,
You're giving them an opportunity to actually see.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say in the morning when I get up and they see me rolling, and I'll say this to anybody, find your theme music. Find something that gets you so wired in the morning that when you kick off, you stay wired the whole day. And that's how I am. When I get up in the morning, I put a certain song on, and then I get wired, and I know that I gotta be at my game every day.
I am going to have to try that because coffee and CNN is not working for me right now.
I'm not gonna get into CNN or none of the other stuff. But you get wired, you get so psyched. And of course, I listen to different songs in the morning, but there is one, Point of No Return. And it's an old one. So I listen to that, and then I go to, what is it, Dana, songs like that. And then we, of course, Give Me Tonight by Shannon. And once I'm wired for that day, I'm done.
You're ready
Because
to
you
go.
gotta be at your best when you perform, and you can't have there's no such thing as an off day. And if you're not at 110%, I tell people just stay home. Don't even fool with it, because you got a product you gotta get out here. I'm every day doing the news, so I get wired in the morning and I stay that way until I get back home. And then I'll fall out and go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's what you said, you gotta have it here. And that's what JPEG is about. We want to make sure that artists and you understand where it's here. And I love your concept. You are actually going out and giving people a chance to say, look, do your thing. This is your production. You fail, you learn a lesson on how to produce.
Absolutely.
You win, you know what the crowd wants and what they need. Because it's different crowds coming in.
Yeah, we certainly hope that people, if they aren't successful with their show, learn the lesson and take it as an experience to grow and get better from.
And you give them a platform, and that's one thing that I like, to give somebody a platform to say, here, this is where it's at, you go do your thing, you see your results, there's nobody you can blame but you.
Sure, and it's also a marketplace where you can, if you're an artist and you come in and you're doing a show that you've created and you're not selling tickets, go check out the shows that are selling tickets.
And learn.
See what they're doing in terms of their marketing. See what they're doing in terms of their content. The shows that are similar to yours, because obviously if you're comparing, a
Short
storytelling
film, right.
show to a big musical with 50 people, it's not a fair comparison. It's kind of apples to oranges. But if you're doing a storytelling show and there's another storyteller that is selling out every performance, then go check out that storyteller.
Now, if they wanted to, do you have a way, let's say they want to sharpen up. Let's say I was an actor and I had a show and I'd done it, but you may have came by and I asked you, I say, hey, let's say it was video, and you say, I say, hey, what can I do to make another year? Or what can I do to make it better if I want to do this for a living? Is there classes here, or you have somewhere where you can send somebody, or will there be something to actually help them if it's here?
Sure, we do workshops, but really they are for the artists that get into the festival. So you would have to get into the festival first.
But as I was saying,
last year we had 350 applications, and we selected about 100 shows for our festival manager spots. So it is hard to get in. But once you're in, we do workshops. We do workshops on marketing your show. We do workshops on producing and budgeting for your show. And so we're really trying to make sure that the artists have the resources available to them, and we keep an open door policy. So if an artist wants to just call me or have a sit down meeting with me and talk about their show and get advice, that's what we're there for. The other thing that we do that has been really great is we have a network, a Facebook group for just artists, and those artists give each other advice. They share their experiences and share their knowledge with newer artists. So it really becomes a very supportive family between the artists, if the artists allow themselves to open up to those other folks.
Okay. Well, in closing, I want to thank you for your time, and then also I would like to get with you again when you're not got a lot to do the following week, so that we can get more information on you. I appreciate your time.